It's quite a miracle. I would like to welcome you to this first international anti-apartheid conference against Israel's settler colonial apartheid system and regime. Although we decided on this date well before the genocide started in Gaza, this live-streamed genocide has made this conference even more urgent and strategically critical. May we remember as we gather here that people are being killed as we gather here. And when we finish this conference, we'll have more and more people added into the number. 35,000 people killed since October, and the world just does not care. We have had a moment of silence to remember all those who have died, and I want to take it to 1948, since the Nakba. I would like to welcome, in particular, Dr. Naledi Pandor, Minister for International Relations and Cooperation. In the last 5 months or so, it looks like she's a minister for Palestine. Thank you, Minister, for taking the time off the election campaign and be here to represent the President and the government of the Republic of South Africa. And I would like to also welcome the former President, President Thabo Mbeki. He has deemed it necessary to come and be with us in this conference because he considers it as important and strategic. And having worked with him before, I know that he's been working on the Palestine matter before we went to government, during the time in government, and after. And we hope that, President, that you will continue with this effort until Palestine is free. We have a number of important guests in our midst. I will not mention all of them, but we have the former Prime Minister of Turkey here with us, and we are expecting also the former Minister of Foreign Affairs from Colombia. I would like to say a few things to explain why we are here. We gathered here because of a special request from Palestinians. So we as South Africans didn't wake up in the morning and said, we're going to have a conference. The Palestinians asked us to convene and host this conference, which is strategic, to mobilize the world to end the settler colonial apartheid in Palestine from the river to the sea, as they would say. The first visit in our conversation, we visited Palestine May 2022, and I can see Reverend Mossen Kai there at the back, and Reverend Molo. We visited there, spent time with the Palestinians, and the feeling at that moment was that the world had abandoned them, don't care about them, they get killed, no international law applies, you get detained, no international law applies, you get captured. In fact, when we were in Amman, one young person said, don't talk about prisoners, they are hostages. The Palestinians get captured by the army and taken to Israel's side of it in their prisons against international law. They not allow, if you occupy people, you can't arrest them and take them to your country. And so they said the world doesn't care, and for those who are religious here in church, they said even the church in the West does not care. They support Israel and their countries. And so we have no one who cares about us. And then the second thing they said to us was that we asking you as South Africans because we've gone through an apartheid system and we won it, we defeated it. But I said to them, but your apartheid system is worse than ours. I've never seen a system like that. I mean, the checkpoints, the controls, the military, occupation force. We didn't have that here. We had one instance of our own and controls, passed laws. But actually, we never went through the experience of the Palestinians. And yet, the world does not care. I've never seen a people being killed at the rate at which they are killed. And there's still a debate at the UN as to what to do about it. The Palestine letter has neutralized any meaning of the United Nations for the people. And so they asked us, first in May 2022, Kairos Palestine, who hosted us there, made a request. And then in May 2023, the Palestinian Anti-Apartheid Coordination Committee, PAACC, which was formed the end of 2022, sent us a letter in writing and asked us to host a conference. We accepted this challenge amongst other reasons because we are who we are as South Africans. I always tell people we are in the International Court of Justice not because we are a big country with power, but it's because of who we are. Who we are determines what we do. And so, but there's a statement that Mandela made, which is a famous statement, which is in our concept note. Mandela said, we know too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of Palestinians. That's our understanding as South Africa. We will not rest until Palestine is free. You will notice that this request was done before 7th of October. So for us, the struggle is not 7th of October. Those who want to take us backwards want us to go and start from 7th of October. And I've said this before, and I'll repeat it again. If you put the United States under siege, like they did Gaza, you won't last for a year. They will go mad. They will kill everyone. And they will not be called terrorists. But you blockade people for 60 years and you expect them to do that. It just does not make sense. I think this conference must make sure that we mobilize the world to ensure that no government is able to survive its people, but take a stand and free the people of Palestine. After accepting the challenge, we came together in South Africa. We came back from Palestine, briefed the leadership here, And then we brought together all the Palestinian solidarity groups, faith-based organizations, academics, you know, the South African way. When we had a challenge, we bring everybody. You know, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, everybody. We worked because we were in the trenches together with everyone. And so we formed a steering committee. I just want members of the steering committee to just stand, those who are not workers outside. Those who are in the room, can you just stand, because we must give them credit for making this happen. I can see there are 3 of them. We are all mentioning names, but we are about 20. So others are workers outside there to make this conference a success. We also appointed a number of patrons, and I'm going to ask the technical team to be ready to play a message from Archbishop Thabo Makoma. But we also identified a cross-section of South Africans in the South African way, very representative of everybody, to be patrons. And I would like those who are patrons just to stand so we can just recognize them. I know others are in other parts of the world, they are very busy people. Anyone who is part of the patrons, they're very I can't see you.
Right at the back.
Yeah, okay. And I must say something about Abdul Minti. If you can just stand up, sir. You know, Abdul Minti was part of the beginning of the anti-apartheid movement in London years ago. I won't put a yet because I'll go home. But we had veterans of the anti-apartheid movement. We supported South Africa. We can see it. And I just want to say, I've not done enough research. President Lady will shoot at me for not doing proper research. But I have not known of any movement in the world that supported one country like the anti-apartheid. I've never. And when anywhere in the world there was an anti-apartheid movement to support South Africa. We would want from this conference to go back home and mobilize people. It's people who are going to get Pakistan, not the government. We had the United States, Britain, France, Germany, everybody. I would like to thank Ulrich. I just saw Ulrich. There's one German here. I know that it's Ulrich. He's a veteran of the anti-apartheid. You can just stand up. Veteran of the anti-apartheid movement. And he's the only one from Germany. It's tough there. The law in the world, democracy is being reversed in Europe and the United States because of Palestine. And they have no right to speak freely. They get arrested for talking about Palestine. It's happening in the United States. A number of states are doing the same. We in South Africa had all those people supporting this country. Apartheid. They helped them to get nuclear weapons, chemical weapons that were used against us. They made sure apartheid is solid, and Israel was the agent to make sure that we are never free. But we worked with the world, and the anti-apartheid movement made sure that the world turns around. And the United States, we supported apartheid, ended up passing a legislation on sanctions against South Africa. We want to see within a short space of time, and we must thank those students in the United States. They must make sure that makes no sense. And those Congress people who are threatening the ICC, I mean, they are real terrorists. I mean, to threaten killing people and victimizing them, apply sanctions against them. It's a very strange democracy where there's a right to threaten people. We need to stop it, and it's the people who are going to stop it. We are here to develop strategies together to stop the genocide and the illegal occupation and allow Palestinians to exercise their unalienable right to self-determination. Because of the number of questions, we'll do the video after I finish. Because of the number of questions that people have asked, we thought we must clarify this. Firstly, this conference is a civil society conference. It's not a government to government, it's not political parties, it's civil society. And I would like to keep it at that level. Secondly, that participants are here per invitation. So people didn't just walk in. We realized there are others who tried to walk up here. But we can't have people who don't know who they are. So it's per invitation, and people who are here are people we think will help us to develop the strategies, not to represent organizations where they come. It's not a conference of delegates who represent certain interests, but it's people who will be able to think together and make sure that we have the strategies. Third, that we decided we will, let me start elsewhere. We consulted everybody of the Palestinian factions, parties, entities before we announced this conference. And I would like to thank Mohammed Danko for assisting us because we went in that area. So we made sure everybody knew we were going to do it. No one would not know that we were going to do what we were doing. And we decided it's only after this civil society conference that will interact with the political parties. We had a roadmap to free Palestine in the original program. We removed it because we want to interact with them to say, what is the roadmap to freedom, rather than just fight. But there must be a roadmap, time frames. We're going to end the system. We're not just going to have conference now without a clear roadmap. And of course, it can't be like South Africa, but the veterans of the struggle were in exile and etc. led us in this process. We had the Harare Declaration, where we decided on the roadmap, and it was taken to the UN to say to the UN, this is our roadmap. If you support us, this is our roadmap. We would like to define that after this conference, so that when we support Palestine, we know what the roadmap is. And I would like to then thank you for coming. And I checked the list, Minister Pando, of the participants. We have, Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, India. In this room, we have got many countries represented. And we would like to thank you. Let's give them a big hand. I wanted to say that we didn't have time to do that. And we thank the South Africans who are here, the Africans north of us. We did our best to get them here to make sure that we think together in this setting. I would like to then thank you very much. I will hand over to our program director, Archbishop Makova is one of the patrons, and he sent us a message, and we thought we should play it so that he speaks as well on behalf of the patrons. Thank you very much.